And welcome back
No,
to
we're not
Kingdom
putting up with
Change,
that
Memories
plain
of
title
Painful
again.
Sausages linked to heart problems. And yes, we are, damn it. I will run this tile to the fucking ground. It's my playthrough. Deal with it!
You ran your jokes into the ground even on my playthrough of Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, well.
Ratchet and Spank?
Ratchet and Spank.
We'll get to that joke in Going Commando, Gary. Trust me on that one. Yeah. Trust me, we'll get to that joke in Going Commando.
Anyway. So, we continue with plot in Destiny Islands.
Yay.
More Heartless. Ugh. More battling. More. Ah, must be getting a level up here.
Suppose so.
But, well, I guess by the time that this video is, you know, we're recording commentary over it, supposedly Square Enix will be having a press conference at the E3, or Square Enix holding a press conference at E3.
And I'm going to be recording that, even if I have to watch only the live stream. Because, damn it, I've got a friend who's obsessed with Kingdom Hearts, and, well, when she finally decides that she wants to actually start paying attention to the news, she can see what the hell's happening to her favorite series.
We'll see, but the only painful reminder is that you need to have a PS4 system.
Not surprised.
Neither am I, to be honest. I'm surprised that Kingdom Hearts 2.5 came out on the PS3.
I'm grateful, actually.
I'm not saying I'm not, I'm just saying I'm surprised, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not
Anyway.
surprised. I mean, originally it came out for PlayStation 2.
Yeah, true.
Even with some HD graphics, I don't think it'd be that far ahead.
Yeah. Unless, of course,
Well, as I
they
shall
use
joke.
the engine for Kingdom Hearts 3, in which case,
That'd be bananas.
yeah, it would be.
Well, as I'm sort of dreading Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out.
Yeah, with,
Why?
you know, a lot of events that Disney has done, you know, by
Well, it's not really
Marvel.
that. It's nothing to do with Disney, nothing to do with Square Enix or anything like that. It's my friends.
Oh boy.
What about them?
Specifically, two of them are obsessed to all hell, and one of them is obsessed to the point of, well, obsessed. I can't really describe it any better than that. She's hiding behind other obsessions right now, trying to keep from looking at anything Kingdom Hearts related. But as I'm the one that's going to be buying the PS4 of the four of my friends that I know in real life, I'm going to wake up one morning after Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, and I probably will have bought it, and the PS4. I'm going to open my window since I'm in the basement, and there she will be, her nose to my window going, "Can I come play? Can I come play? Can I come play?"
Oh, goodness.
I'll let it get around copy.
Because there's no point. Basically, she still has a PS2. She hasn't upgraded to a PS3 because she doesn't have any games on the PS3 she wants to play.
Not even Final Mix?
That's what I'm around for. I have a PS3 with the final mixes.
Well, still, I mean, it's like...
So, get your own copy.
Well, as she and her sister have rationalized, there is literally no point in buying a console for one game.
So buy a PS4 and play Final Mix on there. Duh.
question. Can you even play PS3 games on a PS4?
I've got no bloody idea, and probably not. Given how Sony quickly removes the reverse compatibility.
Do they really? Huh.
That's what happened. That's the other reason why she didn't get a PS3. And she probably would have, if she had gotten one in the early stages, no problem. But like me, there weren't any games that interested her. And she doesn't want to give, and she gets more use out of her PS2 since again, reverse compatible, and the PS3 nowadays isn't.
What got me to pick up a PS3 system was that I was living with my roommates at the time, and they had a PS3, and a few interesting games, including Dante's Inferno, and, well, they picked up Final Fantasy 13 for it, and I remember not being too hooked on watching my roommates play the game. But anyway, the reason why that I picked up the PS3 is because by the time I moved out, I wanted a PS3 system of my own, and so I picked up a PS3 and picked up Dante's Inferno. And then it slowly began growing. I got God of War, Guitar Hero, and eventually Kingdom Hearts.
If you're obsessed to the point where you do not consider picking up any other games for a system and use that as justification to not buy the system, you need a different hobby.
Oh, like I said, would you, crap, I need an example. Whatever game that you really like, Evan. The console is stupidly expensive for it. Da-da-da-dee. Because honestly, the PS4 is fairly expensive. Or the PS3 is as well.
My computer alone costs me more than any existing console to date.
My point stands. You can't play it on any other console or your computer, though with your computer I doubt it. And there's only one game on the system that you want. One game. Yet somebody you see every week over here has that system. And the game. What's the point of buying the system and the game if you have the person over here you see every week with the game and system? And considering, at the moment, they're looking to be my future roommates whenever the hell I get out of this house. Yeah.
To not commandeer that person's system of entertainment that they worked hard to get the money for so that I may enjoy it for myself free of charge as if I'm freeloading.
Yeah.
Like, I get the reason, and yeah, you can just it that way, but at the same time, it's like, dude, if you're gonna play it that much, you need to get your own.
Yeah,
like,
that's
that I can't argue with.
That's eventually, because it's eventually going to drain down the power and lifespan of your own system eventually.
Well, it's more that, like, dude, it's just like, it's kind of rude. Like, I used to have a kid who would come over to my house all the time, and he would want to play, like, my video games, and I'd be like, no. Like, you can't just come over to my house and, you know, jack my system. Like, yeah. No. I don't care if I can play it all the time. I don't care if you only want to play for an hour. Like, you can't just come over to my house every single day. I don't care how close we live and play video games. Like, it's not cool. Like, admittedly, when I was younger, I did that with a couple kids, because my dad didn't like me playing video games all the time. So I'd head over to their house. But the thing is like, wasn't about what I wanted to play. I was content to do anything involving anything I was interested with them. If they wanted to play StarCraft, I was happy to watch. Like, if they, you know, wanted to show me how to play Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo, I was totally down to be second player.
Great.
Like, I didn't care.
Great example was when Evan, you know, came down to visit over here. He's heard of .hack, but he's never, you know, I don't think you've ever seen any playthrough.
Never played it, never watched it.
Yeah, so,
nope.
By the time, you know, I was just looking for a PS2 libraries.
Totally uninterested. And Gary was like, browsing through games, he was like, oh, have you seen, like, .hack? I was like, no, like, I've never seen Dot Hack. I'm like, I knew it was a TV show, and I saw, like, 2 episodes, and I would see kids read the manga books for it, but, like, I never actually got into Dot Hack. And he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna fire it up and show you what it is. And at first, like, in the beginning, when there was just nothing but text and cutscenes, I was like, yo, dude, this is really boring. And he was like, okay, we'll give it a little while. And so then it actually got to be a really awesome story, and I was like, this is freaking great. Like, I was always like, it got to the point where he finally got to, like, I think the final boss of that disc took like 2 or 3 days.
Yep.
But like, I would stop what I was doing in Warframe on his computer and be like, oh, like, you got it, and like sit and watch him do the boss fights, because it was just, it was so interesting. But it's like, you know, like, if you cannot be bothered, if you really can honestly say that there is no other game that you would pick up a console for, you're lying to yourself, or you're that obsessed that you're turning a blind eye to what could be really fun to play.
Well, at least for my friend, I think her biggest turnoff for the PS3 was that it wasn't reverse compatible when she finally had the money to save up for one.
Well, okay,
if she had the ability to play her PS2 games on it because her PS2s were dying, and that's plural, PS2s, were dying, she probably would have grabbed the system and found the other games she loved. As it is, I'm trying to do the whole, oh hey, I've got this game, let's play this game.
Well, the next time that you bump into your friend, happily remind her that the only PS3 system that allows backwards compatibility to play actual PS2 discs into the system itself is buying the fat version of the PS3 that has 4 USB ports in the front.
Which I would have if I could, honestly. Oh well.
Whoa.
Yep.
Damn.
This is where random jokers come to play. Fuck that noise, fuck that noise, and fuck that noise.
Yeah, whatever's behind this door better be impressive.
Yeah, I was about to say, whatever's behind this fucking door better be awesome.
Like the ultimate
Well, I
keyboard.
think it's... I think... No, because you get the ultimate blade before Castle Oblivion, I think. Or in Castle Oblivion. No, I take that back. You get... I don't know what you get here.
Well,
we'll find out.
We'll find out what it is.
Yep. I think we get introduced to a new slide as well.
Honestly, like, I'm all for like being like, oh, well, it's not backwards compatible.
Oh,
Mega Elixir.
Mega Elixir.
That's a 9, no less.
Yep. To become
one. That's what it is.
Which, honestly, on the keyboard there, it looks completely useless at the moment. Let me finish, because it's a 1 card. At this late in the game, the enemies are throwing shit out left, right, and place center.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's what the Moogle shops are for. Now, let me
not
look up.
that.
Yeah, let me look up the Keyblade cards and see what To Become One actually does.
Meanwhile, while you do that, back to Evan.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, ever since PS2 and PS3, like, backwards compatibility has just stopped being a thing, and like, that even goes for the Nintendo system of all things. When the jump to GameCube was made, and even before that, jump to N64, there was no backwards compatibility. Backwards compatibility wasn't even a thing. Back when PS2 was doing backwards compatibility, GameCube didn't even have it. Wasn't even a thing.
I cannot deny that.
The most backwards compatibility you got was getting the whole thing that allowed you to play GameCube games or Game Boy Advance games on your GameCube. That was about the best you could get. So, I mean, I don't really see why it's that big of an issue. I understand, because it's definitely convenient, but I feel like a lot of things are like...
Well...
I forget, was Final Mix 2.5 on the, like, digital store?
No, not that I could find it.
Okay. Alright.
But...
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
how I
can
see
remember...
it from her angle is, she had 2 PS2s and both were starting to die.
But wait. Was 2.5 only released for PS3?
Yes.
Yeah, it was only released for PS3.
Even though the PS4 was already out?
Yep.
Yes.
That seems odd.
I made that
they
comment
didn't...
too. Earlier.
Well,
Oh,
it
hello.
doesn't really seem odd. It seems like they didn't actually want to put in any other production value. And so what they did was they were like, oh, hey, well, originally in Japan, Final Mix, came out for PS3, so we'll just leave it as is.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's this guy.
Hello,
Yeah.
Darkside. Anyway, to answer your question about the Ultima Blade, if I can jump in real quick, that's a Castle Oblivion bounty. Like, you go into a compounding room for a random chance to get an Ultima weapon. However,
Okay.
to become one, a weapon with a powerful thrust and combo finish. Anyway,
Wait, what'd you just use?
He just maxed out his ass whoop ability, basically.
yep, double strike.
Well, no, did you just use... Oh, yeah, okay.
Fail.
This Disney card slide is a bit iffy because, well, as long as you have the enemy on, you don't have locked on feature against your enemy, it shouldn't be a big issue, but, Anyway, yeah, look how much health I've taken out with just double strike alone. I don't need to use the Disney card. Oh, maybe I do.
It's always handy.
Yeah, it is. Just be wary that if you're locked onto anything, you're gonna have a hard time jumping on these platforms to reach Darkside. Just
Considering it keeps the camera locked on the enemy, that's to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
But yeah, like, the whole thing about backwards compatibility, like, I get it, but... I don't know, I feel like it's not really worth trying to fight. Because it's like, okay, well, your PS2 is dying, and you're gonna buy a PS3, even though the PS4 is out, just for Final Mix. Like, if you're still able to buy a backwards compatible one, I mean, if they're still around, as long as they aren't, like, ridiculously unreasonably priced, then, yeah, like, just save up for it. If you're really going to be that picky about it, there's not much of an excuse.
At this point in time,
I shall simply
think
go
GameStop...
with this one with the... I shall simply just go with to each their own on this one.
Actually, let me put it this way. If you truly claim to be obsessed, but are unwilling to actually go the extra mile for something that you claim to be such a hobbyist about, are you lazy? Or do you actually really, 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 truly enjoy that?
Actually, in
'Cause
this
that's
case,
always
I
been
think
my
lazy
thing.
counts.
Yeah, that's kind of been my thing. It's like when people are like, oh, I'm so obsessed. And it's like, well, then why don't you have it? It's like, oh, well, I just like mooch off of that other person. I'm like, you're not really obsessed. Like, if you were obsessed, like, you would have to have it. Like, you would absolutely have to have that game. You would have to have it on demand whenever you want. Like, if you're not home and nobody else is in that apartment and it's locked, you can't get to it. You can't play.
Unless you break into their house.
Yeah, she's just... Like, it just sounds like she just doesn't want to pay the money. Which, like, I can understand that. But also, like, don't impose on somebody else just because you don't want to pay money. Like, it's kind of a jerk thing to do, I guess. Like, that's kind of always why I'm like, if you really love the game that much, get your own copy. It's just the right thing to do. Anyway, next video.
Yeah, like I said, to each their own. In this case, I say it's laziness.
Yeah.